Good morning. Welcome to Craft Time at the Lisbon Hepburn Library. My name is Michelle McLagan and I am the director of the library here in Lisbon. And today our craft project goes along with the story that we read earlier this week, and it's all about alpacas. So we will be making this project. You will have enough supplies to do 2 alpacas in your kit. So let me show you what is in the kit that you received earlier this week. And I do still have a few kits left. If you are looking to pick one up, you can certainly do that. So your kit will have instructions and a picture of the finished project, so you've got something to follow. It'll have a piece of yellow cardstock paper. It will also have an assortment of other cardstock papers, different shapes, different prints, different colors. As you can see, I have different colors here for each of my 2 alpacas. The prints generally go together. They came out of the same scrapbooking kit, so everything is somewhat coordinated there. And then you will also have 2 plain pieces of cardstock that, again, kind of go with the same color scheme. And I used the print to do the bodies of the alpacas, and I used the plain cardstock to do their feet. So you are welcome if you have some extra of the colored cardstock or the print cardstock after you cut out your alpaca shapes. You can certainly use that for the feet, but I've also given you some other coordinating colors. Some of the kits have blue, some of the kits have pink. It's a variety. You will also have 2 cotton makeup remover pads that you can use for the alpaca's face. Each side has, and I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a different texture, a different print on each side, so you can pick and choose there. You will also have 3 standard cotton balls, nothing special about those, but you will have those in your kit. And you will also have some googly eyes. Each kit has different color eyes, but you will have, usually what I've done is I've put some large ones and I've put some small ones just so you've got some differences there. And those are stuck to the back of a Post-it note. So what you want to do is get out some scissors, some glue. It can be a glue stick or it can be liquid glue. Either one is fine. And a marker of some kind so that you can draw on the face. It doesn't have to be a Sharpie. It can be some other kind of marker, and that would be fine. And I also don't have my packet of markers here right this moment, but I did use a marker. I used a green one at the bottom to do some grass, and I also used a black marker just to do a little bit of the front edge of the alpaca's hooves. So that's just an option. And then I also actually drew some little ears because the cotton balls sort of covered them up. All right, so what we are going to do first, and I did forget to mention it, my papers were stuck together. The second page after your instructions is a template with 2 alpacas on it. I gave you 2, one faces each direction. They are the same size. You can just cut out one. And if you want the alpaca to face the other direction, just flip it over when you're cutting. So first step then is going to be to cut out the alpaca's body, which I have done here. And then what I also did was I cut out his feet or her feet separately because I knew I was going to use a different color cardstock. So I just basically cut them right off of the bottom. You don't have to do that. That is entirely your choice. But with the size of the cardstock that I gave you, which was a quarter of a sheet, so it's 6 by 6 inches, it was going to be a really tight fit to do it this way. And so I cut his feet off, but you could do this, and then you could do his feet out of the same cardstock, or you could alternate between the 2. So you'll want to cut out your templates first, and then trace them onto the colored paper, which I have done here. The paper is plain white on the other side, so you can pick and choose there. And then I've cut out 2 sets of feet out of the plain cardstock. And the next step is going to be to take your glue once you've cut all of those parts out. This is a really simple and quick project this week. You might need a little help cutting, but otherwise it is pretty straightforward. So we're just gonna take some glue and put it on the back of our alpaca's body. And you can put them both down towards the bottom. Just make sure that you leave enough room for the feet before you glue it on. You know, you can put them pretty much wherever you want to, just leaving room for the feet. And then I'm going to take my other alpaca body and get some glue on that one too. And put that one over here. Now, it was my intent before I cut out my alpacas to do them facing each other, but I did not cut out both of the templates that were facing each other. I just cut out the one, and then when I traced it onto my other piece of paper and cut it out, I realized that I did them both facing the same direction, but my intent was to do it the other way, and I forgot to flip it over when I cut the second one. But you know what? That is how crafting works sometimes, so that is fine. So you'll see I've got a striped one here, and this one, it might be hard to see on camera, but this is a blue with like a lighter blue. It's not really a polka dot, but kind of a snowflake. I'm not sure. It's got little circles on it. So you can mix and match your colors again, and I am going to do the pink feet over here with the blue one. And what I'm also doing is just lifting that up ever so slightly where I glued it down and sliding the feet underneath a little bit. And then I'm going to decide to put my yellow feet on this one. And again, I'm just gonna kind of lift it up a little bit and slip them right underneath. All right, there we go. Then the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to give him just like some toenails on the front. And one thing that you'll notice is that in this particular one, his yellow feet are blending with the background, but most of the kits actually have a lighter shade, so they would show up much better. I think there's only one kit that has this darker yellow, and that is because I ran out of the lighter shade. So your yellow feet, if you have yellow feet, will show up better than they do here. So we'll give both of them some little toenails on the front of their hooves, and then we'll take the next step, which is the cotton pads. And like I said, they have different patterns. This one's more like a zigzaggy and this one's more of a diamond shape, so you can pick and choose. Now, you do not want to glue it this way because you will end up with a ton of little fibers stuck to your glue stick and they will drive you crazy. So the best thing to do, take your cotton pad, see where it goes, and once you know where it goes, come back and put your glue right in the middle of those two faces. Then when you take your cotton pad and you stick it down, your glue stick stays nice and clean. So I'm going to put these different directions. And then the next thing that I have, 3 cotton balls. And what I would do is take my scissors, and you might need some adult help, but I'm going to cut them in half. And by cutting them in half, it's going to give me 6 pieces, so 3 pieces per alpaca, and it's not going to be quite so big. We don't want the alpaca to look like she has big marshmallows sticking off of her head. We want her to look like she has just a lot of fur. Now, there is a difference between alpacas and llamas. A lot of people get them kind of interchanged, but an alpaca will have significantly more fur around her face than a llama will. A llama will also have a much pointier face, and an alpaca will have a much more smooshed in face. Alpacas are generally also smaller than a llama would be. And a llama, you will often see that they will have something on their back. Okay, and they are pack animals. They have a very, very strong back, and they are able to carry a lot of weight. An alpaca, even though it looks very, very similar, does not have the same structure to their spine that is able to bear that much weight. So they are not used as pack animals at all. Alpacas are used primarily, particularly in the North Country where we have some alpaca farms. They will shear them like they will a sheep, and then the wool will be used to make sweaters and gloves and various textiles, but they are not the ones that will carry the packs through the mountains. All right, so same thing. You do not want to try and glue this way because you will end up with a big sticky mess. So you just want to kind of come around in a little kind of moon shape around the top of the head. And this is where it really does end up covering up the ears. And I drew some extra ears on that were not very big, so they actually didn't show up very much. And if you've got any little loose pieces, you can certainly pull those off. And so let's come back over here, and we've got 3 little pieces for the fur. Eyes. This particular kit that I have has 4 eyes that are the same size. Like I said before, a lot of the kits for the take-home crafts actually had colored eyes, and those were in different sizes. So I did try to spread out big eyes and medium eyes and small eyes. And you will need just a little bit of glue on the back of each of those eyes. Sometimes the eyes come with a little peel off thing on the back and they're sticky underneath, but these particular ones do not appear to have a peel off back. So get some more glue, and we'll give this one over here. She needs some eyes to go with his eyes, so we will get that done. All right, so now they both have eyes, so we'll let that dry, and I am going to put my lid back on my glue and get rid of some fluff that's following me around. Next project I'm going to do, or next step I'm going to do, is take my marker again, and I'm just going to give my alpacas a little bit of a nose, and I probably did need a thicker marker than this one that I grabbed. So let me see. Over here, we're going to give them a green nose today, and just do a little bit of drawing and give them a little bit of a green mouth too. And my green marker is almost out of ink. So this is where you get the opportunity to say that Miss Michelle did not have all of her tools prepped. She did not have the right marker, and she did a terrible job where she was supposed to be using a marker, which just goes to show that these videos are not perfect at all. They are a real person in a real library sitting here doing her best to put things together and hope that she has the supplies and everything works as it is supposed to. So this is what you will end up with. This was my original sample that had certainly better marker skills on it than my second one, which has very poor marker skills. But that is what crafting is all about. It's just the fun. It doesn't have to always come out exactly the way you want. And like I said, you can add some grass at the bottom. You could add some flowers. You could add a sun or some clouds. You can do those kind of details, but we'll just call this one done for today. Thank you so much for joining me for Craft Time. I look forward to seeing you next week. Wednesday at 9 a.m. we'll have a story, and Friday at 9 a.m. we will have another craft. I'll have approximately 25 craft packets ready for pickup Monday at 3 o'clock. Once again, it's the Lisbon Hepburn Library. My name is Michelle McLagan. Our hours at the library here are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 3 to 8 p.m. and Wednesday and Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.